Hey guys, here we are back again. Second video of the week. We got all the math teachers here. Miss Newsom,
Coach Green.
No, and Coach Grubbs.
I always go
they're over here competing.
Because I'm better.
I'm better.
I'm gonna move on.
Raise your hand if I'm better.
No, raise your hand if I'm better.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, today we're gonna be talking about multiplying and dividing decimals. So real quick in your journals, please jot down our learning target. We will multiply and divide decimals by following an algorithm. Remember, an algorithm is just a process.
Also Miss Green's favorite word.
Yes, it is.
So now, multiplying decimals. This is something you did last year. When you multiply a decimal, do not line up your decimal. As we put over here, you do not or don't need to line up the decimal. I know in this problem it happened to line up, but you don't have to. So you're just going to pretend like that decimal's not even there. And we're just going to multiply like normal. So 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. I wish all multiplication was that easy.
For real.
Add my 0
Add the
down
0.
here. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring up my 1. Times 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. I'm still just on this 183 plus 3,660. I'm going to add these up. So we've got the 3, 14,
8, and 3.
Now is where my decimals come into play. How many digits do I have behind this decimal? I have 1, 2. So I've got 2. How many digits do I have behind this decimal? 1, 2. So I have a total of 4 digits behind the decimal. So over here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And my final answer is 0.3843. So that's how you multiply your decimals.
You ignore them until the end.
Yes. Let's look at one more problem. 5.1 times 40.
Wait, what about the decimals? Are you not going to line them up?
You do not have to line up that decimal. I'm going to say this one more time. Do not line up your decimals when you're multiplying.
Well, there's only one decimal anyway, so who cares, right?
There is another decimal.
I don't
Where's
see it.
that other decimal at? Right
At the
there.
end of the whole number, just like Miss Green said in that video.
On a sentence.
Exactly.
So now let's just multiply like normal. I love this first one. That's 0. Times 1 is 0. 0 times 5
I know
is
it.
0.
It's 0.
Yes. We're good at this.
Add your 0 for the next line.
4 times 1 is 4. And 4 times 5 is 20. Now I'm going to add these up. That's, again, super simple addition. And I'm going to look here and I'm
Go
going to
back
go,
to the top.
how many decimals are behind this digit? Or sorry, how many digits are behind this
Or
decimal?
places, yes.
And I've got 1. I always write this to the side, otherwise I might not remember. How many are behind this one? 0.
None.
So I only have to move over 1 digit, put my decimal. My final answer is 204.
Why'd you drop the decimal?
Because that 0 is not needed.
It's not a value, right?
It's not a value. I could have left 204.0, but that's like not needed. You don't have to leave that 0 in there.
It's the same thing as just this, but remember, for whole numbers, you don't necessarily need that period at
It
the
doesn't
end.
change the value. If I say $204, it's the same thing as saying $204. It's the same thing as saying $204 with a decimal, so it doesn't matter.
Right
Okay,
on.
that is how you multiply decimals. I hope you remember.
Get ready to practice.
Yes.
Wait, we're not done.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We were not done. We have to divide decimals.
I told you.
That was my fault.
Learning target said
Duh.
multiplying and dividing. Here we go.
Okay, so now we're dividing decimals as well. When we're dividing decimals, we have 17.5 divided by 14. Miss Newsom, what's your favorite thing to say?
Top dog in the house.
So our top dog is in the house. So we've got 17.5 divided by 14. So when we do this, the first thing we have to do is make sure the number outside the house is a whole number. It happens to be this one's a whole number.
Right.
So we don't have to move any decimals here. The only thing we have to do is make sure we put this decimal above the house. And it's just going to go right where it was. Now 14 goes into 17 one time. And we subtract it out. We bring down the 35. Do not bring that decimal down with you. You're already done with that decimal. Now, how many times does 14 go into 35? Goes in 2
Twice.
times, and that's
8, sorry.
28.
My bad.
Whew, thought I was right there for a second. Then we subtract this out.
Gotta borrow.
Gotta borrow there. 15 minus 8
7.
is 7.
2 minus 2 is
And I'm
0.
gonna bring my 0 down. And 14 goes into 70.
I believe 4 times. So if you need to do your math, you've got to do your math. So we've got 4 times 4 is 16, and that's 56. I believe it'll go in there one more time for a perfect 70. So it's 5 times.
So we go in 5 times, and then it's 70. And we're done because we're at that 0. Now, because I already put my decimal in up here, my final answer is 1.25. That was it.
Adding that decimal at the beginning is very important.
Once you've done that, you don't have to deal with your decimal anymore. So let's look at another one. This one's slightly more complicated. We've got 8.625 divided by 2.5.
Top dog in the house.
So we put our 8.625 in the house and divided by 2.5. Now I need a whole number on the outside.
The
So I have
divider needs to be whole.
bring my decimal over 1 time. Now, whatever I do to the outside, I have to do to the inside. So I moved it over 1 time. I have to move this one over 1 time. My new decimal
Why
place
don't
is
you
there.
rewrite it underneath so it's clearer so they can see 25 is now being divided in?
I can do that.
Yeah.
So 25. And then we've got 86.25.
Yes. So
and
now
I'm-
you can see the decimals have moved.
So the decimals have moved. I put my decimal on top of the house because that's where it goes, and I'm done with my decimals for right now.
And this is whole. That's why she was able to move that up.
So we
already.
basically just created a whole brand new problem.
Yes.
We're not even really doing this one anymore. We're doing this one, but either way, I'm going to get the correct answer.
Yes.
So 25 goes into 86
Three
3
times.
times, and that's 75. Subtract it out. Bring down my 2. 25 goes in 4 times here. It's 100. Bring my 12 down. And it goes into 125 5 times. And that comes out perfectly. And so our final answer is 3.45. So again, once you got that new problem, you no longer have to move your decimal. So that's how you multiply and divide decimals. This is the real end to the video.
Ding.